In a previous video, I discussed how when I tried to take the neck off the body, I broke the heel. And I've since glued this back together, and it fits pretty well. The other thing that I have done is added two shims, one on each side of the dovetail. And the reason I did this is when I took the neck out, it was clear that there were some shims in there before, but as I was breaking the glue, I just went and actually cleaned those up. And so what I've done is just taken a 1/16 of an inch cherry board, made two shims, glued them to the sides. And so now what I'm going to do is just very carefully whittle away the shims to make the neck fit properly. So you can see right here, okay, the neck doesn't fit in. And this is actually intentional. I want to get to the point where I can take the guitar, look down it this way and whittle off on each side of the shim to get the neck sitting where I want. Once I can do that, then I can re-glue the neck back, or at least I can try and see if the angle is what I want before re-gluing it. So that's what I'm going to do now, is I'm just going to take a really sharp chisel and just lightly chisel away at the side of this until I get the neck where I want it to be. What I'm checking for here is I can see if this was the body and the neck is tilted this way, then I can go ahead and keep trimming it and try and bring the neck back so that the fretboard is flush with the part here. And so it's hard to videotape this, I suppose, but I'll keep looking down the neck this way and then trimming it off a little on each side to try and modify the shims in such a way that I can make this flush with the top. All things considered, this is pretty good. Effectively, when this guitar came in, the fretboard was sagging towards the treble side, and because of that, the action up here was higher than it could be. What I've done is fit the neck shims in such that the bass side is actually pretty close to where it originally was. If you're measuring by this joint right here, there isn't a whole lot more to go down. On this side, okay, there's a much bigger gap. Some of this is because this was cut out with a pickup installation, but even though this doesn't look the best in terms of a seam, this is actually the right way to not the right way, but the right alignment of the neck at this point. And so for right now, I'm not actually going to glue this down. I still have the fretboard to repair. After I repair that, I'll make sure everything is good. I'll probably fret the neck, and then the last thing that I'll do is to glue the neck in. As part of the preliminary leveling of the fretboard, I went over the fretboard a little bit with some 80 grit sandpaper. What I ended up doing was saving a bunch of the Brazilian rosewood dust. And so what I'm going to do now is go back and fill in some of the chips here just by putting the dust and then putting some CA glue. This is probably going to take multiple passes, since these are some pretty deep grooves and everything, but that's okay. I'll layer it in, see where it is, maybe lightly sand again to see what's left, incrementally build up the rosewood fretboard in the places that it needs it. Although I'm not going to be sloppy about it, I'm not too worried about getting rosewood dust in the fret slots. I'm planning on using a small fret saw to go back and actually, clean these grooves out anyway. And so, I'll just put some in here, use my hobby knife to get most of the excess out, and then when I come back, I use the fret saw to actually get the final proper depth. And so there was a chip here. You can sort of see it doesn't look like it matches right now, but once I hit it with CA glue, it's going to darken. And then once I use sandpaper, it will get the shine off of it. And rosewood is supposed to be one of the easiest woods to fix. And so I'll put some CA glue on this and then move on to a couple others, let it dry, and then make a couple more passes. The reason I'm seemingly being both careful and not careful is that this fretboard is made out of Brazilian rosewood, which is one of many woods that are considered to be endangered and no longer really sold in any specific volumes. And so, sanding off the dust of this fretboard, I'm saving it here, and I'm trying to pack it in as much as I can to fill the gaps, but I don't want to just blow it anywhere, because it's not like you can go get 70, 100-year-old Brazilian rosewood dust around the corner. I've only gone through and done some rough sanding so far, but as you can see, these patches are almost seamless. On the top here, I can probably do it one more time to smooth it out. And then, this part right here, maybe go over it again and, go over this a little bit more. But the great thing about rosewood is that it already has, these black streaks going through the brown. And so as I go over this, it may look a little bit like, chunky like black, but, in the end, it won't be enough to catch your eye unless you really look and say, oh, okay, there must have been a repair right there. Yeah, this is going to work out fine. I'm going to go back and fill in this one a little bit more. I'm going to go fill all of them a little bit more just to be safe. But, once I'm going to let this dry overnight with the patches in place, then I'm going to go back and carve out where this inlay was. Even though part of it actually caught fire, it's kind of a funny tangent. I'm almost certain that this plastic is celluloid, and it's very unstable. In fact, when it gets hot, it can light on fire. And so I wasn't even touching the plastic. I had the soldering iron in the neck, and I heard a popping noise, and you can see here with this burn chew mark on it, the celluloid actually popped. And so what I'm planning to do is, clean up this spot a little bit more, put this back in, and then probably do the same thing I did on the headstock with, the mother of pearl, just to kind of fill in any sections that are there. And then this neck will be ready for refretting. It's the next day, and I've used my sanding block again to kind of go over those old patches. I also chiseled out the old area here, reset the inlay, smooth that out. And right now I'm just waiting. I put a little bit of mother of pearl here, waiting for the glue to cure. I'll smooth that out again. But ultimately, I'm done repairing the fretboard. If you take a look at it here, it's going to be really hard for you without actually looking for the fixes to see, where the repairs have happened. I wasn't trying to fool anyone with this. Obviously, the headstock, um, you know, originally, I filled it in with mother of pearl. Spraying accelerator on it actually turned it orange, which is a happy accident. We'll see if it stays that way. Um, but for being a 70-year-old guitar in disrepair, I'm really happy with how it turned out. This guitar will outlast me. It will be back in serviceable condition. And like I said, unless you know where to look, even from this distance right here, you probably can't see that there's a little bit of a repair here, a little bit of repair here. I mean, the mother of pearl glob notwithstanding right now. And so that's it for now. I'm going to next clean out the fretboard slots and then refret this neck. So thanks for watching.